All right, what's up, everybody? Oh, crash desktop. Here playing Kerbal Space Program tonight. Start this over again here. I had a wrong title there at first, but it's correct now. And we're messing around with space planes. What's up, man? How's it going? Let me check this real quick. The last time I played, I created this masterpiece here. Need that. Oh well. Is this? I'm gonna be having some technical difficulties. Hey, what's up? Quick question for you two. What does this say? I am streaming right now because I don't think it's updated my title properly. We're just gonna roll with it. All right. Anyway, my technological troubles aside, last time we played Kerbal Space Program, created this wonder here. A Mach 3.5 biplane. Okay, cool. Cool. Yes, you are. This thing's pretty rad. I'm wondering if we could get it into space. It's a little cheaty. We used some translation shenanigans to actually do that, but that's okay. We can work with it. So I'm wondering if we could get something like that into space. I'm wondering if we could get anything into space. I've always had problems with space planes, so I kind of want to work on that. And I saw something cool today that I kind of want to play around with design-wise too. Let me show you this real quick. Virgin Galactic announced this thing, their new space plane. Now, granted, theirs is not a single stage to orbit. It's a rocket plane carried underneath a jet plane. Look how neat that thing looks. Design-wise, I don't know. That's pretty rad. I wonder how well that would work in Kerbal. So I might want to play around with that too. Oh man, you got Kerbal. Okay, okay. I can help with that. I have a bit of playtime under my belt. What it says in Steam, I think right now is 588 hours, but I believe it is closer to 1,000 because I used to use multiple saves with different mod packages. So that's the thing. So, let's see what we can do with this thing, because this thing is already capable of getting into the upper atmosphere and running at Mach 3.5. So, can it get to space? Question mark. I feel like we would need some modification to accomplish that, because right now it's only got liquid fuel, so we would need liquid fuel and oxidizer. So what I'm thinking is, yes it is. Far and away on Steam, my favorite game. I'm thinking what we need to do is we leave this guy. Yeah, it's a bit of a pit special. Hey, there we go, caught up with us. I'm thinking we replace this part with some inlines and we do rocket fuel tanks and we throw a Rapier engine on the back of this bad boy and we see what kind of performance it gives us. I'm concerned about it deorbiting and whatnot, but it would need a battery somewhere too, I think. So we'll have to put an inline battery in there probably as well. A little bit of a redesign, but let's see what we can do. You off, push down there. Just to try it. Not liquid fuel sludge. We need. And that thing holds a lot. What the heck? What is that? Oh, okay, it's a little tiny one. I was like, what is this part? There's a little tank. So, like, grab a battery, because it's going to need it. The big thing is we got to keep an eye on... Let's actually revert real quick. And I want to look at this. So here's our centers of thrust, lift, and mass. It flew very well. Okay. And this layout seemed like it was pretty solid as far as like aerodynamics. Gotcha. So I'm thinking, how long is that? Is that one of those long? Yes. Okay. Let's see how this changes it. So we throw on our battery. Like a fuel tank. Yes. What would like 2 of those? The cone. I feel like these are so heavy. I also don't think this is going to be enough rocket fuel to get this bad boy into space, personally. But we'll see. I like having this tank back here too that we can reload with some fuel. Because these carry a lot of fuel. Look at how much more fuel that is. I mean, we gotta back up real quick. How much were we carrying before? 400 and 200. So we had 600 total. These carry 180. But we don't need that much. And this is the problem with space planes, is that once you switch to spaceplane mode, like rocket mode, they have a tendency to run out of delta V. So there you have it. We only got 1,400 meters per second of rocket fuels. I have a feeling this plane would not make it to actual orbit. Because you can get up to about 900 meters per second or so on air burning, and then you got 1,400 and some odd, probably less. Like, let's say we burned all this fuel just getting there. 1,490-ish. Once you're ready to roll. That's not going to be enough. So the plane gets dramatically more difficult to construct. So why don't we just start from scratch, get something into space, and then we'll work on the biplane. So I feel like I have done a supersonic biplane, but I feel like it was twin engine because I was just being an absolute mad lad about it. And we may need to work on that. We may need to like lengthen this back here, slip some more fuel in somewhere, you know, that kind of thing. Like what would, if we do like, where'd it go? Throw like a little one in. One of these. With a slightly longer tail section. It's still functionally balanced. I don't think it really meaningfully increases it enough that it would make a difference. You might be able to get it into space. I don't think you'd be able to get it into orbit. So let's just scrap this. I want to play around with this design that Virgin Galactic is doing. Let's see if we can get that to fly. Do something interesting. I mean, a biplane is interesting. Go work on the skills. So this was always my problem with these, is actually deciding how much of anything at all you needed to get the darn thing into space. All right, so we got that. That has 50 electric charge. It's not very good. We're gonna want a battery. We're gonna put that right behind it. We may want an SAS wheel. I don't rightly know. What kind of reaction torque does that have? It's got 10. It's not terrible. Command and control, throw one of those on there. And see, here's the thing with the Virgin Galactic thing is you actually, with that, it's part crew compartment. So what else do we have here? Can we do, I think it's in plane parts. There's like a aerodynamic, might be structural. There's like a crew compartment for planes somewhere in here. I know that. There's a structural fuselage. I could be wrong. Oh, that's what it was. There's like a crew compartment, one of these, I know. For sure. Not in like cargo or anything now, is it? They moved everything around, so I don't know where it all ended up at, but aerodynamics. Doesn't look like it. I don't even know where the standard. There's a crew compartment pod actually too, like a structural crew compartment pod. I don't know where that went to either. Well, we won't worry about that for now. We just want something that can go to space so we can test it. So let's try to make something simple. All right, we got electrical, we got control. We're gonna need fuel and air intake. And I'm thinking, again, that we could handle the engines with one of those pre-coolers for air intake, and then like some inline air intakes instead of like the big round thing you can do. I don't know if the pre-cooler has any real functional purpose beyond intaking air. It's pretty good though. That one is better. Except I think the amount is less, so I could see why this would be useful. It's got less surface area, but it's carrying a little bit better fuel too, I believe. This one doesn't really carry much. So why don't we do that? Let's do like... that. And a pre-cooler. Yes. Okay. And then an engine. Let's see what we've got. What would this have in air breathing mode? Not terrible. Could be better. This is the never-ending problem of space mines. You almost have to like make big wacky constructions. This could probably pull it off though, I think. Maybe a little more fuel. Something like that. That looks pretty darn solid. Let's see. Pretty long, though, is my only beef with it. Let's go to aerodynamics and play around with it. What, structural wing type A? Feeling like right about here is where it should start, but where's the other one? I'd like that to come out further. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm sticking this better the other way. So then we can make it stretch out further. So let's do that. You can use these to kind of line this up a little better. Yeah, I was eyeballing it. I don't always wish list things that I necessarily like want, but I'll put them on there if I want to keep an eye on them. It looked kind of cool though. Fits into that conversation we were having the other day about like doing like fire rescue and stuff would be really cool. I feel like these should be even lower. Nah, that's cool, man. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. Have you actually played it? Any good? Oh, dang. Okay. Well, yeah. That would, that's a pretty good endorsement then. What if we do like... What if we do this? Yes. Okay, this is looking better. It's looking better already. You gotta love these creative games where you get to design stuff. I really like it. I've been... At some point, I'll probably look into Space Engineers again, too, because I heard it got improved dramatically recently. Well, I'm still trying to figure out in what way. I believe combat got better. Where's the large Delta Wing game? Did you ever... There we go. Okay. Maybe that... No, I don't like that. I'm going to do the small Delta. And again, you can always use the number 2 mode, the move tool, and then in lock mode where it does snapping, you can do like small movements to get it to align perfectly with everything else. We're gonna do one of those, we'll do one of these. Oop. Oh, I do that right. That's kind of weird. Why did that not line up? Feels off. I have the wrong part here. That's very strange. It's like it's rotated. What is going on here? Yeah, see, that's correct. I don't know why that was freaking out. Darn clipped wings always look silly. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And then we would do very long vertical surfaces. Like so. Maybe like small delta. Yeah, maybe? No. Take the shorter version of that? No. Take another copy of that. There we go. That's pretty rad, right? I don't know why they do this particular design though. I find it very odd. But it's what they do. I feel like in Kerbal we could get away. I'll have to check that out. I know, right? It's looking kind of wild. I feel like there's a better structural wing for this. But which one it is, I'm not sure. Ooh. No, I don't like that. And the small delta doesn't quite work. I don't like the absurdly long angle to it. Let's do this. Maybe? Nah, that didn't line up either. How's it going? How's it going? I am feeling like maybe that's all I need there. That's what I'm feeling like. All right, let's try that. We do like the small structural, maybe. Like that. Ooh, wait. Oh, that's intriguing. Nice. Hey, look at that. That's kind of cool, right? Like I said, I'm just kind of copying the Virgin Galactic design, so ooh, that's way too big. That one. Again, I want to get this lined up, so we do that. Maybe unlock it. Tighten that up a little bit. There we go. Okay. I don't think this is going to fly well. Oh, very nice. Congrats. I think it's 2OH9. 2OH9. The other way around. And what I don't know is this. I don't know how this is going to fly, so let's just see what we can accomplish with it. I wonder where you ended up. It's probably another one in Ohio, at least, right? I would think. Okay, so we click these. We're gonna make them roll only. This is gonna be a really weird airplane is what this is gonna be. We make these pitch only. I always like to do this because I don't like to have every darn control surface doing everything. Yaw only. And then this does nothing except for deploy. Those are like flaps. I feel like we're going to end up adding fuel tanks and widening this thing out, but we'll see. I'd be fine with any of these things. The other thing we need is air intakes. And maybe an air brake, because it really, really helps. Those back there. I like that. If this proves to be disastrous... Huh. I wonder which one. I'll have to look it up later. Put this back here. Very cool. How does this actually look right now? There's our center. That's not bad for a space plane, actually. The tricky bit's gonna be the wheels. Round. I think we need medium wheels. I'm gonna use my little 3D mouse here. Oh boy. I always hit the wrong buttons. There we go. Like that. Not bad. Good luck, man. That was fun. That was actually very fun. I gotta try that some more myself, actually. I like this plane I've got going here. This is pretty rad. I don't think it's gonna get into space, but it's pretty cool. The one thing we might want is a deployable solar panel. That's too big. Like a 3x2. It's gonna be a space plane, but it's jet powered. Well, it's a reconfigurable engine, so it switches from jet to rocket mid-flight. But I don't think it has enough fuel to get in orbit. I also don't know how well it's gonna fly. It's probably gonna fly very poorly, would be my guess, but we'll see. So let's set our action group. This is the last thing I need to do. We need custom group 1 to be toggle deploy, so we can deploy flaps later on. And I think that's all we really need. Maybe. We'll see. I'll call you untitled spacecraft. Let's see what it does. I'm gonna go with explode or crash violently. My guesses. Okay. How's our view in the cockpit here? I have head tracking on, but it's Kerbal head tracking is a little schizophrenic. Like, it does weird things. I love this cockpit, though. And I should probably turn off the translation component of it, because it just causes problems. Like, it causes you to do weird things when you're looking around. I think it's inverting. Weird. Okay. That's that. Yeah, okay. I see what it's doing. How silly. Okay. Let's get our head tracking centered. And we're gonna try to run this thing up. Let's do this. I don't know how well this is gonna go. Come on, come off the ground. Nice, okay. Gear up. We could probably throttle back a little bit. Oh, you know what I did not set? So we're gonna have to... Hey, wait, what are you doing? Close. What a waste. Okay. What we're gonna end up having to do is click this to switch modes, but that's okay. What we want is to hit like Mach 3.5 maybe in the atmosphere. But we're gonna have to climb. Dude, this thing went supersonic with air brakes out. What is this mess? It's back on an equatorial line. One of the nice things about launching spacecraft in Kerbal is that you launch into an equatorial orbit versus an inclined orbit by default, so unless you screw it up. Oh, it was in rocket mode. Gosh darn it. I wasn't paying attention. Well, let's see how it flies in a glide. That's at least useful information. One other thing we could try is we don't have a lot of pitch control without the engines, so that's going to be a problem. When we're trying to land it as a glider, that's going to be a problem. All right, let's revert that. There's one other thing I didn't think of. This is a tip I saw. It's gonna look insane, but this is the wing root, so the whole wing is attached to this structure. If we turn it off of snap mode, we can actually ever so slightly pitch the wings to give them a built-in angle of attack. And it apparently helps, and it is supposed to stay ever so slight. Apparently it helps in high-altitude transonic flight when you're trying to minimize your lift, or maximize your lift-to-drag ratio. We're going to see if that helps. We're also going to start the damn thing in air-breathing mode, like sane people. Alright. So we know it at least takes off well, and that's one of the biggest hurdles, actually. Generally speaking. I need to do some... Man, you got me thinking again. I need to work on some Kerbal tutorials for YouTube. I know there's plenty of those out there. But I have my own methods to a lot of things. Alright, so we're going to do a run-up of the engine here, and then we're going to turn those brakes off this time. I think it... Did it take off at full thrust with the brakes, didn't it? It sure did. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? That's how the pros do it. Of course, it was also in rocket mode, and that probably contributed to that. It's an easy airport to lose. Alright, so we're going to correct our roll. We're going to slow our roll there. We're about to, yep, we just punched through the Mach barrier. Pitch up a little bit. Start climbing like a bat out of hell. What's our vertical speed? 90 meters a second. That's a climb rate. Now, one of the problems we have here is we want to keep our angle of attack pretty much prograde if we can help it. Because the wings have built-in angle of attack, so I gotta be careful about pulling up too much. We're already heating in the atmosphere, so we really needed to climb faster probably, but that's okay. This isn't too severe. We're gonna want to turn SAS on now. We are basically ready to go rocket. Let's pull this bad boy up. Or we're gonna explode. That's what's gonna happen. Nice. All right, we're running out of thrust. Whoa. Come on, stability assist. Stabilize. Don't wibble wobble. I am impressed. Oh god. Oh, whoop, 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 whoop. Cut the engines, cut the engines. There we go. We're on a space trajectory. All right, we're gonna hold prograde for minimum drag. We are losing altitude right now because we're still in the atmosphere. So I don't know how well this is gonna work. But I think we have the delta V to get to orbit. Maybe. Just barely. We're gonna see. Luckily, our wings have the tiniest bit of lift still to help with this. So you see up here, well, you may not be able to make it out on screen, but we're not losing apoapsis height very much anymore. We have a 33-second burn. It's going to use all of our remaining delta V, I believe. Which means that we're in trouble, actually. That's a problem. We might barely have enough to get back. Basically, we're watching this marker down here is our maneuver node mark. So where our maneuver node would have us pointing. And once that hits prograde, we're going to begin our maneuver, basically. Actually, we're going to start it now. I know, I'm going to want to see this. Get screenshots, bro. Are you on my Discord? You need to like give me a screenshot of that on the Discord. I want to see that. Ooh, it's cutting it close. Close enough. That is an orbit. Okay, I got you. So we have 93 meters per second of delta V remaining. And in order to get a space plane back, you need a periapse at about 38, which means we can get this thing back. This is an official space plane. Now, I'm not going to worry about landing it back at the Space Center because I suck at targeting that. What do we got here? Let's use our close FMRS. We don't need it right now. Let's use our autopilot. We have an advanced autopilot slash. That might have just screwed us. That's okay. Maybe like 35 to 38. That'd be good. So the goal here is to use the atmosphere to slow down. This might work out. Might not. Let's see. What's going to happen is that our trajectory is going to kind of... I swear to God I have trajectories, by the way, and maybe I don't have it installed anymore. I used to have a thing that would actually show you basically where you were going to land. But apparently not. So let's get ready for this burn. We'll use this when we get down here. That should be good. Excellent. Oh, look how pretty that looks. That's cool. I love lighting in this with mods and everything. It's great. All right, so we have just enough delta V for this, like literally just enough. Let's quick save. We're going to do a warp 2. All right, so we're now... It should turn the warp off about a minute or so beforehand, but it looks like it didn't. That's kind of weird. There we go. I don't necessarily like this design, but we'll iterate. I know, right? All the Death Stars. So this is the somewhat boring part here. We got about 24 seconds until the burn, and we don't really want to overshoot, so we're going to ever so carefully do that. This is going to be a really tiny little burn, too. Like, not much to it. All right, 10 seconds. I'm gonna do it at low thrust. I'm just gonna hold retrograde now and like fine tune. Try about 36 kilometer for that. All right, so we're gonna want to roll the spacecraft, level with the horizon. And we're gonna want a very high angle of attack as we come in, but we got to be careful about it. So we're gonna use this to kind of control it. So let's get ready. We'll go to about here. Okay. Might have just crashed the game. Nope. Sure didn't. All right. So the space plane, we are entering the atmosphere. We need to put this away, because it's going to get destroyed. We're going to change our field of view to chase. We're going to put this in surface mode. Actually, we're going to change it to free mode so it kind of follows behind us better. And our angle of attack needs to be very high. So we're going to put it into stability mode. And we're going to actually use this fly-by-wire system because it's going to give us better control at hypersonic speeds. We're going to come in at like that, maybe. That's about 27-ish degrees angle of attack because of the wing pitch, I think. I think we could do better than that. You really want to just like slow the heck down. And we're going to see what happens. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch modes. How much delta V do we have left? Literally none? Okay. Wow, we really don't. That was hyper optimized. We might even want a higher angle of attack. I'm going to put it like slightly below 30 because our wings have built in. And we're going to see how it does. Because you want to slow down as quick as you can. Because the longer you're slowing down, the worse off you are. But we're going to see how this behaves as we re-enter. There we go. Okay. Right now, this is the only part getting heat. We might want an even like more aggressive angle of attack than this. It's really hard to say. What's our current orbital speed? Our surface speed is not going down much. I don't really need that right now. But we're not very low in the atmosphere either, is the thing. Picking up a little bit. The SAS is doing work. We'll probably start seeing a lot more heating once we get into this part of the atmosphere here. Our periaps is now a landing trajectory, though. Like, we're not in orbit anymore. So that's progress. Wish I could do more. We could do physics. Not letting me do more time warp for some reason. That's okay. So far, it's rock solid. I'm impressed. I'm a little worried about that part. Just saying. We got a thermal meter now. We could try increasing our angle of attack more. Oh, is it still giving you trouble? Come on, spaceplane. Slow down. What are we doing? We're at Mach 6.4 at the moment. Mach 6.4. I don't know why it's locking out my ability to do, speeding up time. And this is my fear, is that this is going to explode and take Jeb out, because this is what usually happens when I try to do hypersonic vehicles, is the frontmost part explodes. Bad things happen. We're bleeding speed pretty well, though. Like, really, it doesn't seem like a lot's happening, but we've slowed down quite a bit already. We might even want to, like, increase the angle of attack here. I don't think we're increasing it much past that, actually. It looks like about as much as it's going to maintain. That's cool, man. I want to see this. Here we go. All right, heating is occurring. Heating is occurring. One of the problems is we don't have this attached to very good parts, so we may need to move these parts around if the plane keeps exploding. Now we're slowing down. That's kind of funny, actually. All right. Here we go. Hey, come on, keep that angle of attack up there. So this was something I was concerned about, is we don't have enough control authority left over to keep that nose up, and that is a problem. I'm a little concerned here. I'm just gonna full stick back. It's probably gonna end up exploding. If we can get it under Mach 5 in a timely fashion, I think I'll be okay. Ooh, no. All right, we're gonna... No. So this is a problem. Come on. Up the nose. Stop wobbling, you stupid plane. Oh boy. That got bad. Just worried about this. There we go. Okay, the fly-by-wire system's doing a little bit better job. I'm gonna throw the air brake out. It's gonna explode. Probably needs canards. Okay, we're under Mach 5, but we're gonna hit the critical temperature and explode here shortly, I think. Possibly radiators might help. I'm gonna zoom out on that before it happens. You don't get deafened by it. I mean, our speed's coming down real good. It's just a matter of this darn temperature. Yep. That surprised me. All right, so we thought we had a good space plane, but we don't. So we need to do some redesigning. I feel like it's wibbly wobbly, and I don't like that. I do like the double elevators, I think, but I don't like, or I'm sorry, the double vertical stabilizers. We might need bigger ones, maybe. Maybe that's why theirs are so darn huge. Needs more elevator is what it needs. We might have to allow all flight surfaces to do that. It's not a bad design, though. It's pretty close to a very simple spaceplane. Let's see what else could we do to it to make it better. I think canards would help. I think also maybe directly attaching this part to here. One thing I didn't look at is what is the dry. It's not bad. That should still fly just fine. I think where I can stash these devices. Because batteries and whatnot are just going to get destroyed, I think. And I don't think fuel flows through these. Oh, that's from the weapons pack. Okay, I was wondering what armor thickness was. Alright, what can we do here? Let's see. Takeoff was great, except for a little wibbly wobbly period. How can we stabilize this? We could do wider wings, like a complete redesign of this. Like, I like what's happening here, but why don't we make the wings wider? And just put standard vertical stabilizers on it. That could work. What do we got? Delta wing? No, too big. Small delta wing. Maybe. This is a slight problem with this. Okay, good. So one problem with this is that there is a way to change it, and I don't remember the key because it's like a weird esoteric thing, but you can actually change it so that the wings are pivoting properly, because you can see like we've got a slight error. We had a slight error. I think it's fixed now, where the new wing piece was being added with an angle of attack difference, but now it is lining up perfectly. Okay, so that's good. Except that it didn't put it on both sides because it sucks. Okay. So we give him more wing. I think that would work well. So we could have these be elevators. These could be ailerons, and then when we're in re-entry mode, we can switch them both to be elevators. Might do the trick. That looks good. I don't know if we've decreased our overall ability here with what with this being here, but let's see what we can do. We could literally do these as oh boy, okay, vertical stabilizers. We can put them inboard like so. A little bit more traditional design. Make them do yaw. Roll, roll. Except we want these to be elevators on takeoff. Pitch. And then I was thinking canards. Canards might be a necessity here. Now there's two ways we could do that. We could just use a stabilizing canard, or we could do a lifting canard that goes up here at the front. Feeling like that's the answer. So maybe that should just be our lifting surface, or our elevator surface rather. How does that change everything? Not bad. Grab the root part here, rotate it slightly. Give that slight pitch to everything. I don't know. But that might help keep the nose up. I'm gonna do it like that. We still need those batteries in there, so we need to get those somewhere not this part, because I feel like they are blocking heat transfer. What do we got? Can I do those inline somewhere else and not have them all screwed up? Like, we do them right here. And still have all of our delta V and everything. That. We had one of these. It's a little more useful actually there. this is where this gets stupid. Oh boy. Okay. Maybe not. That's gonna be stupid. All right, so those numbers shouldn't really dramatically change. Electrical. Yes. Yes. It didn't change much, just added weight. That looks cool. Yeah. Okay. Wonder if we could stabilize it with a little bit of like raised wingtip going on. I don't know. Let's just give it a shot. One thing I want to change though is we've got custom group 1 is toggle deploy on the flaps. We're gonna do custom group 2 is to toggle the mode. Although why don't we just tell it to do automatic switching? That should do. So that way it will automatically change at the transition point where it can no longer air breathe. And then what else could we do? The other thing I was thinking was custom group 2 toggles pitch control. So we could make these also do elevation control as well. I don't know if that would help or not. It may not. So we'll see. We'll test. We'll give it as an option. Okay. This may have appreciated, like changed our delta V enough that we can't accomplish this anymore. We'll have to see. Okay. I like the digital fly-by-wire system for these planes. It's got a better performance than the standard SAS does. We are breaking the sound barrier. Bring that down a little bit. All right, we better pitch up. This might explode. There it goes. There it goes. Yes. Excellent. This is going really well. This is going real well right now. Come on. No. Quit wobbling. Perfect. Technically 70 is all you really have to hit. All right, we have, what is that? 820 meters per second to play with? Ooh, I don't know. Ooh, that is excellent. We did really good. So when you get to this point where the nodes are spinning, you've got like a circle and they start rotating around, you've got an orbit. Technically, if you want a circular one, you want to set it up so that they're like that. But this went really well. That flew better. All right, so now we coast as before on a prograde vector so that we're minimizing our drag. And we wait. Happy right now. I'm happy with this. That slight boost. There we go. I always like the music in Kerbal. It's really good. All right, we got about 20 seconds still to burn. We are out of the atmosphere, so we can go prograde or go maneuver node and get ready to do it. Because our lifting surfaces are no longer doing anything for us. Good enough. I actually overshot slightly, but that's okay. So we're in a slightly elliptical orbit. We have 300 meters per second of delta V to work with, which is amazing. That means that this thing can come out of the atmosphere and actually fly around as a plane for an extended period of time. Based on that, because we've got what? Yeah, we got a lot of liquid fuel left. Like a lot. Now, one thing we could do is we could play around with the balance of our center of mass versus center of lift, but I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference, and we might want to just keep it like it is because it's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna quick save, and I want to test something. So let's get this out so we don't run out of power. Okay, our flaps work. That works too. Okay, so if we want those to control elevation, we can to get a little more oomph behind them. I'll also turn the cockpit lighting on just to look. Ooh, I didn't see those before. That's a nice touch. We look cool. That's important, right? Do a gear test in orbit. I think those are all backwards, so the landing lights on them don't actually help us in any way, shape, or form, but that's okay. Okay, everything looks great. So let's plot a landing. I do the same thing. Add maneuver just here on the half dark side. I just want to see if we can get it into the atmosphere safely. I've seen a few people say about 38 is a good number. And we're looking for our periaps to be about 38 clicks up. So we get a bite of the atmosphere to slow us down, but not too steeply so that we overheat. I'm going to reorient for a maneuver burn. All right, so we're pointed at the maneuver node now. Take a look at the cockpit view. It's not the greatest, unfortunately. And we don't have any other seats, so we can't get any better views, but that's okay. I think if you click on this docking mode thing, you get like a cool docking port view. So if you wanted to, you could actually fly a docking maneuver from in here, in theory. It would be very hard, though, I think. I should try it. Not bad, though. All right, so we're like 5 minutes out from that, so we're just gonna go back. We might want to try like a quick save before re-entry and see what we can do too. Like maybe a higher angle of attack would help. All right, we're 40 seconds from the burn. Beardo the Weirdo, are you still here? Because I want to see this this video once it's uploaded. You gotta give me a like. Unless you've already done that, I'm just missing it. I'm not even in Discord right now, am I? Derp, derp. Let me get on there. I have to see this glorious feat. Oh, I actually overshot my burn, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter as long as we do the same amount of burn. We're gonna do a very light burn. There we go. That's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna roll the space plane and put it on prograde. So I didn't need to roll the space plane. I'm a doof. Okay. So one of the things we're going to do now is we're going to toggle modes so that this is back to... there we go. Can I do anything to help it? Like, what other options do we have in our... Yep. Gotcha. Gotcha. I cannot wait. Moderation, coordinated turn, speed control. That's interesting. Look at this. Wow, I gotta play with that sometime. This digital fly-by-wire system is excellent. Okay. I don't know what rocket mode does with this. So we're pretty high. Let's speed up. We're gonna real time this. Here we go. Do it. I'm actually okay with this. I'm gonna quick save here because this is where I'm gonna make decisions on what angle of attack to use. We might try like 40. Look at that timing too. I said I wanted 40. We got our atmosphere transition at exactly 40. All right, keep those wings level. Let's retract our solar panel. We no longer need that. We don't need the cockpit lights. This is not doing the best job. Whoa. There we go. Just gonna hold that nose. There we go. This is doing all this work. I love this. So cool. It's like a real fly-by-wire system. Way more precise than the standard SAS. We may even want to consider throwing out the air brake just to increase our drag. So far, we're doing okay. I've seen people do like 90-degree entries, just belly flop it, you know? That's a thing too. I'm just waiting to see what's going to go crazy first. We still may need like cooling equipment on here too to keep it from overheating and exploding. So you can see the nose dropping now. I am going to activate these with pitch control to try to get a little more authority. Just to hold that angle of attack longer, but we're doing pretty good. We're at Mach 5.9 at 48. We're getting some actual reentry heating occurring. We haven't seen the node yet. Like the gauge hasn't appeared, so that's a good sign. I don't know. This is looking better. There, okay, there's the pitch down. There's our gauge. We have to bleed that speed. I'm going to activate the air brake to help with that. It's not going to do much, but it's going to help. I'm concerned this is just going to shoot right up and explode either way. So far, so good, though. I'd very much like to get under Mach 4.5. It seems like in the past when I've tried to do hypersonic aircraft in the atmosphere, Mach 4.5 is kind of a critical point where bad things happen to you. So far, we're doing real good. The heck are we? We're really far away from the space center. I don't think we're going to land there. But that was not the goal here. The goal is to see if it could even survive re-entry. And then to see how it controls in a re-entered configuration with remaining fuel. Now, when I want to make one that actually, like, flies into orbit and does things, it's going to get a lot bigger, a lot quicker, but we have a basic design down. We are almost under that critical Mach 4.5 point where we're no longer, like, on fire and going to explode imminently. Alright, we've passed below Mach 4.5. That's a really good sign. We're actually like, I can tell from the sound, we're doing good. We're doing really good right now. I think it may survive. If we see that heating stop soon, I think we're golden. We're under Mach 4, that's really good. Because Mach 3.5 to Mach 4 is completely doable in most planes without causing any kind of failures. I'd say this was a space plane. Excellent. Okay. I'll let the nose come down. We're still too high to really have any major control over this. But look at that. I think we just survived re-entry. We're at very high altitudes. We should be able to throttle the engine up, but we can just coast for now. How are we doing? We're very far away from the Space Center. But we get there. That's a long way. I'm going to turn that off. I've fired the engines back up. Now we can maintain cruise speed. We're cruising at Mach 2.7. We're gently descending. Not bad. I mean, realistically, if we cruised at Mach 3, let's see if we can get it to do that. There was a way to have this hold an altitude. There's a, yes, a cruise flight coordinator. There we go. So let's get to like 15 kilometers. We're going to set autopilot to control our vertical motion to vertical speed of 0 so that it just stays level, and then we're going to control thrust. We're going to test this bad boy out a bit. Getting a little hot, but that's okay. We've only got like 4 minutes of fuel, so we're not gonna make it. So let's head to the desert airfield. Oop, oop. Excellent. It usually does, honestly. That's my experience. Now there is a desert airfield over there. Distance to desert airfield. Roll this some more. Again, nice thing about this digital fly-by-wire is for these incredibly finicky space planes, you actually have like very nice control. We're controlling our vertical speed right now. I'm letting it descend. That's what I want it to do. I want to maintain super cruise if I can help it. We may not have the fuel. Do like -30. Oh, look at that. So we're in navigate, so we're gonna have a vector marker for the desert airfield to roll out on. That's awesome. Very cool. I don't know if that's a mod or if that's just normal stuff. We're in cruise mode. We are subsonic. I don't think we're going to quite make it to it, so we may have to do a We may have to attempt a landing, but the important thing about this flight test was that we've proven that the thing can re-enter. So now we need to learn how to target it. I think there's also a function that might have helped us where you can close the intakes, and that can actually help with your performance. So we might be able to eke a bit more performance out of this aircraft for the purposes of getting into space. Not that there's any purpose to this plane other than to test. Excellent test plane. It worked really well. So this is like a solid design choice with this back-swept wide wing. Yeah, we're not gonna make it all the way there. So let's see what we have to work with here as far as trying to land on the ground. That might be flattish over there. I don't know. We need to get under the clouds. Got about 7 minutes of engine time remaining. It might take a little bit longer if it's telling you that. It usually does. All right, let's let this thing come down a little faster. So we need to find somewhere to put it. That looks flat out there. I'm gonna take it back to a standard fly-by-wire system. I think our best luck's going to be in this general area. And landing this bad boy as a glider. It seems like it glides well, though. I mean, we're using minimal thrust to maintain speed. I'm at 0 thrust at the moment. We're accelerating, and we're at about 100 meters a second, which is pretty solid. With flaps, we will probably land safely if we can just find somewhere safe to do it, and I think this field is the place. Or we'll crash, you know, one of those. We're gonna turn that one off. Cool lakes over there. Alright. I'm honestly looking at this as kind of flying a pattern. This is our sea level. We want ground level. We want to know how far off the ground we are. So that is a handy trick if you're ever playing this. You can actually switch your altimeter Be set to sea level or ground under you level. Magically, it knows. If we could even find like a relatively flat, like this valley here looks like the way to go. A relatively flat uphill section where it's just got a minor uphill grade would be great. Because we could use that to slow us down. I'm actually gonna come over this way. Trying to maintain about that 10-degree pitch on the nose. Excellent. I'm gonna shut this off. We only had a few seconds left of it, honestly. We're gonna save that for control during our final. Pretty good. Basically gonna 180 here. I think this is our best bet. That pitch down. Keep that nose down, please. Probably going to land this in chase mode. Simply because it's easier to kind of tell what you're doing. I'm going to angle out to the left and then make a slight right turn as we get closer to the ground. We'll see what we can work with. Keeping that speed for the moment. We might end up doing like a sharp bank to the right even. Try to put it on the ground. I don't know. I think we have a nice big pie-shaped area we can work with here. Unless we get closer to the ground and it's a huge damn mess, in which case we're in big trouble. But, you know. There might be trees everywhere. I don't think they're collidable, though. I like this trajectory right now. It's working for me. All right, we're at like 900 meters, which is not much in Kerbal. So we are going to deploy gear and flaps. Actually, we may save the flaps for the very last moment, but that's okay. We may even light the engines just in case. Or not, because they're not working anymore. So we don't have any engines. All right. 300. Remember, the ground's coming up, so we don't really have 300. We've got a lot less than that to work with. But that's okay. That's what I wanted. It's going to help. Start bringing that nose up. Put the flaps down. Oh, yep, no, we're gonna crash. Yeah, we're super crashing. Ah, damn. It stalled. It stalled. We were under stall speed. Stall speed was about 75. Sadness. That was a pretty good test, though. It was close. So it's gonna need, what we needed to do was to fly it as a glider, and I should have accepted that I wasn't gonna make it to that other airfield, and we would have had enough fuel to actually land that. That's kind of funny. But this performed really well. So I would say that's a fairly successful spaceplane. If we could just target landings, that would be really good. Like really, really good. What can we do to improve it or to make a better one? Can we make one now that's a little beefier that can do some things in orbit? It just handled so well. I don't know what all we would need. I don't think these are sufficient. I think I'm gonna give it bigger flaps. I'm gonna give it standard size. Oh, hey, you know what would help? Putting 2 of them on there. Okay. That, remember, is action group 1. Toggle deploy. So that deploys them as flaps. They kind of work as flaps. They do decrease your stall speed a bit. They're not perfect. Having these set up to also act as elevators was excellent, I think. What we might want to do is allow these to act as elevators or flaps. So we're going to set this up so that's there at all times. And then we have the option to call these in via action number 2 to be even more elevators during re-entry for more control. That worked really well. We need to conserve fuel. Oh, we need an action group. Let's remove this, and we're going to click on here, and we're going to toggle intakes. I believe I read somewhere that the intakes actually function. They increase drag when they're open, so if you have a button to disable them, it's very helpful. So what we'll do is when our engine switches over to rocket mode on takeoff, we'll hit number 2 to switch them to that. And then we'll hit number 3 as needed to toggle pitch control on these during re-entry. But that worked so well. I don't think there's a lot more that needs to be said for that one. I think we get this bad boy into orbit again, and then we try to do a controlled landing. Maybe we can try to target it. So we undershot. This is something I've always been bad at, and I need to read up on, is how to target a landing with a space plane. I've never been good at it. It's always been a problem. So we'll see what we can do. All right, we're gonna toggle that while we're sitting on the runway real quick. What can we do here with this too? Can we get like a... I need to play around with this sometime, but I'm not going to play around with it right now. We're just going to use this mode because it works pretty well. So let's turn our lights on because it's fun. Let's get ready to get this thing into space. So again, we're going to use number 2 action group to close our air intakes once they're no longer needed, which should give us slightly better performance, but I don't think it's going to affect anything too much. So let's send it up for another go around and see if we can maybe target it. So we did, we'll see when we get up there. Where are we at on the map at the moment? Okay. We got time. It would be ideal if we could glide to here. Okay, I'll check it here in a little bit. All right, so let's throttling up, deactivating brakes. Half stick. We've lifted off the ground. Gear up. Could have probably used the flaps to get off the ground a little better, but that's okay. We are going to activate our standard fly-by-wire. We're going to pitch up to 20. So we want to get out of the low atmosphere really quick. Oh no! Oh no. That's funny. Doing really good. We hit about 15-ish. We're going to pitch down a little bit so we can get a little more run time. Thank you. I was initially trying to copy that new Virgin Galactic one, but I ended up changing the wings. Get it to be a little more stable. Okay, we're gonna pitch down about 15 to get a little more time in the atmosphere. Ooh, it's getting hot. Getting real hot. I might have done that too aggressively. We'll see. About to switch over. Yep. Yes. So far it's pretty well functioning, except for my... Alright, we closed all the intakes. Let's pitch up. Come on, pitch up. Pitch up, you crazy machine. We're just gonna hold that as high as it will possibly go until we hit 75. There we go. Set it to prograde. Turn off that so that we're just doing this. Level the wings. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Go into our map mode. All right, man. Well, I'm going to check that video out later because I have to see that. So I will talk to you next time. And I can't wait to see this. This is going to be really funny. There we go. So we have 854 remaining, and we need 583 of it to get to orbit. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Almost out of the atmosphere. As soon as we're out of the atmosphere, we're going to switch to the maneuver node for our SAS module. It'll take us about a minute to climb out of here. I will actually not be streaming tomorrow, but Thursday I'll be back on. I haven't decided what I'm going to stream yet. I might do something a little different. Get like some kind of RPG or something in. Maybe some more Monster Hunter. That was pretty fun the other day, actually. Or we'll do more of this, maybe. I'm having a really good time with this right now. I also intend to do some VR flight simulator later this week, so that should be fun. All right, are we out of the we are out of the atmosphere. Maneuver node. We could technically extend the solar panels, but for safety purposes, I'm not going to do that just yet. We only have 27 seconds till to burn, so that's not a big deal. I really like this wing configuration. It works really well. All right, 8 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fire it up. So bring that throttle back. Cut that. Cut that. We overshot quite a bit there, but that's okay. Rather not have quite that much orbital energy, so I'm going to rotate prograde and adjust slightly. We're still at a decent little angle here, so it's going to affect our prograde vector a lot more. I'll take that. 74-ish by 80. I have played it one time in VR, and I need to play more of it because it was amazing. Like, that was so cool. So cool. All right, we're in orbit. We have 250 meters per second of delta V remaining, which is more than enough to deorbit it, but not as much as I might like for the purposes of having fuel after we re-enter. So I'm a little saddened by that, but that's okay. Get our solar panel out. Should we should stabilize the craft and do a little EVA maybe? That might be fun. Come on, stabilize. One trick you can use is you say you want to do stability assist and give it a poof. You can even turn SAS off entirely and give it a poof for a moment of 5 times, and it will stabilize the craft. It won't be rotating anymore. Quick save real quick. We'll try. All hatches are obstructed. No! What's obstructing them? I think this door is being impinged by this thing. So there's no getting out of this plane. He's locked in there. He's been built into the plane. That's funny. We'll have to fix that on a later design edit. But oh well. Jeb's staying in the plane, everybody. I think we can do this, right? We can. There's like a way to. Here we go. We can at least see him in there freaking out. He's having a good time. Yep, it is one of my favorite tricks, especially when I did my Apollo thing. Which is actually on my channel on YouTube if you want to look it up. It's an Apollo recreation I did to scale with a lot of engineering shenanigans behind it to make it match up in a lot of ways. And I did all RCS maneuvers, and I used that quite a bit to dial out like little tiny drift. I did not get the bike out today. I was a little too busy with some other things. Which makes me sad because I think it's supposed to rain the next few nights, but what are you gonna do? So last time I took off, I just did a straight normal middle of the dark side of the planet re-entry, and we undershot. Granted, it was further back at the time, but we undershot the Space Center significantly. So why don't we try... What if we do like here? Like, what if we just do opposite of the thing we're trying to target? How's that gonna do? every once in a while. If I'm out doing something and I'm riding. So I don't think this is gonna work. I think we're gonna undershoot the snot out of it, but I'm gonna try this. I want to see. We may redo this descent a couple of times because I want to see how close I can get to the Space Center. Because if we could get to the Space Center with some fuel remaining, we could actually probably land this successfully. And I'm really bad at targeting. Nah, this thing would not be capable of it. I'm just testing out spaceplane designs at the moment. I want to find a good stable one that I can scale up, and mostly the wing configuration and everything for stability to see what I can get to kind of work for future designs. And this is working pretty good. All right, so we're going to turn SAS back on and line up on maneuver node. I do need to go back to the moon because I installed the parallax mod, which makes the surface of the moon look amazing, but we might have to do that another night. Okay. Quick saving. I'll warp to the node. Yeah, I haven't done it recently. I used to do dark multiplayer actually with a good friend of mine, and it worked so good back in the day. We did amazing stuff. Like, it was ridiculous. We built a whole base on the moon cooperatively and linked everything up and had it mining stuff. It was awesome. We did, like, you know, pilot co-pilot shenanigans during ascent or descent when we were calling out numbers and stuff to each other. It was so good. And it didn't work later on. Every time we tried to use it in the last few years, it's been so rough. It just wasn't worth the time. It makes me sad. We're gonna reopen the intakes because drag is a thing we actually want during re-entry. Alright, about to start our re-entry burn. There we go. That's pretty perfect. Turn prograde. So last time we did, I think, about a 40-degree angle of attack on atmospheric interface, and it worked really, really darn well. So we're going to try that again. But I want to get this set up. I used this last time and I really liked it. So this sets a maximum for angle of attack that it'll attempt to hold. And then the wing leveler helped with stability on reentry because it's really possible to get like tiny little things that you can't correct and then it screws you. But this fly-by-wire system is just too good. Too good. Very useful. We're drifting a little bit for some reason. I don't really know why. All right. We're pretty close to atmospheric interface, so let's just let it drift and we'll see where we're at re-entry. Yes, we were, but what we had to typically do was we would have to do all the whole rendezvous and docking procedure, and then at the very last moment, one of us would exit the spacecraft. Which was sad, because, you know, you want to watch what's going on, but unfortunately, it didn't quite work. We already know we need that. Actually, we may not need that. Let's see how it does. We can call in additional pitch authority if we need it. It was so fun while it lasted, though. Okay. Turn it on to master switch. Let's do this. It's about where we want to be. Yeah, I'm very hopeful that that's going to be a big feature of Kerbal Space Program 2, if and when we ever get it. But I think that's what, like next year. So here we go. Atmospheric interface. Game always lags when you hit the atmosphere. All right. So these ones right now are actually functional pitch control. So they should give us a fair bit of leeway. I don't know why I'm getting a rise here, but my nose wants to come up and it's really annoying. I'm gonna need to get that under there. It's probably because we're a little too high above it. We're getting some slight. Yeah, that is true. I am fine with it. Take all the time they need to make it amazing, especially if multiplayer is a primary component. Because it made the game super fun. Oh, here's one thing I forgot to do. Put it back in air breather. So that when we need it, we have it. So let's see how close we get to the Space Center. We should get a marker for it too. There it is. Come on. We're doing really good. Oop. Lost some authority there. I don't know why. Doing about Mach 7 at the moment. Everything else is looking good. Looks excellent on re-entry. See, are these actually actuating? Not really. We're actually super stable right now. It's actuating these. I can see the pitch on it. It's not doing much. Yes. Here, let me have it linked. Should come up here in a second. Kind of small at the moment, but we're growing it. This is really fun though. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I've been playing a lot of Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I'm on a plane thing at the moment. And I wanted to finally mess around with space planes because I've done a ton of rocketry in Kerbal Space Program. I have like 588 hours logged on Steam officially, but it's actually closer to 1,000, I think, or maybe a little more than that. Because I used to play with multiple saves, so I'm probably over 1,000. A lot of that is just rocketry and landers and stuff, but I've not done a lot of space planes. So I wanted to kind of get a good design going that could be used for things. I'm having to hold back stick a bit to keep that nose up now, but we still have authority. And I have more leeway. I could call in more of it if I wanted to. Like if I hit 3, it holds. But it's not holding very well anymore. Let's just say that. The magic number we really want to get under is about Mach 4.5, which in my experience is the point at which most of my planes explode violently when you get too low. So this is looking really good right now. Because we've hit re-entry heating, and we don't actually have a heat gauge on this part yet. This is the part that would fail if it was going to fail. I'm just going to turn off lights to conserve battery power. The other thing we could do is toggle the air brakes, and that will help us slow down a bit. I could have had that out a much sooner, actually, and I think it would have helped, but we'll see how we do without it. And let's look at where we're actually... We're going to undershoot the Space Center dramatically. We're not going to be able to get back there again, but we'll see what we can do. We might see if it makes it through re-entry heating in this profile and then reload and try to overshoot that more. Because I want to see exactly how much we've undershot it by the time. I feel like we almost need to do like a quarter turn back from it if we want to hit it, is the trick. Where we were at. We could also turn off the air brake and try to get a little more distance, but I think it's more important to get under a safe speed. I'm going to turn that off because we don't really need it. That one I like. Wing leveler is handy because it damps out minor stuff that would otherwise throw me off. .72, that's not bad. .6. Getting close. All right, we've passed under Mach 4.5, which I would consider a safe speed. Obviously not, but it's a point where you're safe. I'm actually going to turn off the air brakes so we decelerate a little more slowly. We will let it settle a bit so we can get a little further. We're actually not bad. I don't think we're going to have the fuel to fly all the way there, but if I set up the cruise director to hold vertical speed at like negative maybe 30, 20 or 30, and we switch to that, let it get kind of set up and then take over, we might be able to glide there. This is going to probably take a couple attempts to actually get to the Space Center and land successfully. Mach 4, that's pretty good. Once we're under Mach 4, we are definitely safe. So most of these things can fly easily to Mach 4 and not be destroyed. I want my wings more level, though. I want wing levels. There we go. Good thing is we're no longer hypersonic. That's the important part. That's where things get tricky. We could actually probably light the engines at this point too. Maybe we should try that sometime too. I've tried before to get a stable hypersonic plane, but if you get over Mach 5 in the atmosphere in Kerbal, you get blown up pretty easily. I think we can let the nose down, actually. Alright, I've deactivated the outer ones having pitch control. They're back to just being ailerons. We're going to hold level with the horizon. Let re-entry heating stop. We're at like Mach 3.5. Let's switch to cruise flight director. So it's trying to hold our vertical speed at -50, but I don't think it's succeeding. Let's see if that gives it more authority. I know, right? So where are we at? We're actually really good. I mean, we're not going to make it there without fuel is the problem, so we might want to come about. I want to see if I can at least get it onto land. I don't think we're going to make it to the Space Center, but we tried. So that's the question. Should we try to land it right now, or should we redo our descent and attempt to actually reach the Space Center? I want to see how far I can get. Let's do that. That's what I want to do. How close can I get it? Because we got a lot of altitude to play with here. Let's have it hold at -20. We're still cruising at Mach 2.5 with no engines on. Just kind of hanging out, so not bad. We're 5 minutes away from the Space Center. We actually could probably get there. That's increasing, though, as our speed drops. So what we want to do is we want to glide at like -20 until we either get too low speed or too low altitude, and then fire up the engines and see what we can do. Because I think the engines are going to be critical, at least on this design. I don't think this design's going to fly as a glider, unfortunately. Makes me very sad, but it's true. See how we're looking in the cockpit. Need to get the raster prop monitor thing set up. Still up there a bit. It's definitely test pilot territory. See how he's doing. Yeah, he looks okay. He's fine. Actually pretty happy about everything right now by the looks of it. So we are not, I repeat, not holding -20 at all at the moment. So I think at about Mach 1.5, we might want to consider firing the engines and seeing how much time we have on them. Hey, he's fine. He's totally fine. It's all good. Jeb can take it. Actually, still have we have a heat gauge here on something. What's heating? I think it's the wheel. So here's hoping that doesn't break. That'd be slightly problematic. How's our batteries doing? That's the other reason we need to fire the engines in a timely fashion. All right, so we no longer have authority. We don't have the fuel to get back. We were close, though. I think we should give it one more go on that re-entry and see if we can actually hit the Space Center, is what I think. So I'm going to reload the quick save. So we were overshooting it. Let's look at how much we were overshooting it. We can time rotate. So our target is the Space Center. And our periaps is here, just past it. I think we need our periaps to be... We ended up, what, like... here about when we needed to really fire the engines up? So we just need to... really kind of rotate it maybe to this. Like right about here, I think. Thereabouts. And what we can do... There is a way to do this. You can just rotate it in time around the orbit by grabbing and dragging it. So I say we do the re-entry right about there. All right, man. Thanks for sticking around. I'm glad you're enjoying this. I think I'm going to get it. We'll give it one more attempt. If I don't get it here, we'll try it the next time. But I think we'll make it. So we've adjusted when we do our burn. Now we're going to try to fly the same profile, more or less. And see if we can just come down on top of it. We can just fly a glide pattern all the way down to it, in a big spiral around it, and fire up the engines when we get low, and land it like a plane. Should be no problem at all. So let's warp to the node. Oh, hey, what's up? That's cool. All right, we got about 39 seconds to our burn. How's our battery doing? Excellent. Still charged. You want to leave that solar panel out? Honestly, we could actually leave the solar panel out till we hit about 60 kilometers before it'll probably be in danger, I think. Hey, awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. We're 15 seconds from the burn. I may be a little more sparing too with the air brake. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back that off a bit. Just the tiniest adjustment, and boom. Not bad. That's pretty close. All right, prograde. Get our fly-by-wire system set up. That, yes. That, yes. These really help on re-entry. Don't get any weirdness. I just love that we have a fly-by-wire mod that actually behaves like a fly-by-wire system. It's too good. It's too good. All right, remember what we said about poofs of time. Just gonna do that. We're gonna let the nose come up. Real quick, before we do that, actually, though, let's reconfigure. All right, go through a checklist. It is, dude. It is meta OP. All right, we want that in air breather mode. I am just gonna activate the additional pitch control so that all the elevators, we have all the elevators, so many elevators. And we're even going to get this thing pre-configured so that it is ready to go as well. So we can just switch to it. But I would say we are configured for orbital interface. So let's do that. Or for atmospheric interface. Lights off to conserve power once we come out of this. In fact, we're going to do it right now. There we go. Okay, here we go. Got about 4 clicks to go. I'm going to get that nose down just the tiniest bit. Master switch is on for this. I'm going to put it right under it because I actually built a slight angle of attack into these wings. Get a slight leveling there too. Okay. We're pretty close. So like I was saying, I built a slight angle attack. These wings are actually pitched up maybe 3 degrees. And it builds an angle of attack in to optimize the lift to drag ratio during ascent. It helps a bit too during re-entry. Slightly less advantageous there, but that's okay. All right, so we're in the atmosphere. Like I said, we're gonna get ready to put this away, because it will be damaged once there's atmospheric pressure. Probably go ahead and fold it up now. We did fine. Come on. I gotta keep giving it inputs. Oop, oop. That was a little too much. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Just flying space planes. Let's get our camera into a more usable configuration too. Okay. All right, I'm retracting the solar panel. I don't think it's going to be safe much longer. Well, I don't know how much this is going to help, but I get the feeling. Been there, done that myself a lot. Everything looks great. Everything looks really good right now. Our speed is coming down. It's looking excellent. Oh no, I did not. Didn't it did it not land successfully again? Not that that matters too much on these test flights, really. Only a matter of time. There's the desert. All right. Yeah, wasn't the weather kind of wacky? I saw some pictures and it was like fog. Just all fog. All right, we just hit Mach 7. I think I may... Well, I'm sure he'll have it figured out in a day or two. They figure it out pretty darn quick. Or are these closed? There we go. That'll help too. My concern is that if I throw out the air brakes too soon, it may not, we may undershoot more. So why don't we wait until we start to see some atmospheric heating and then we throw them out? Oh, that's so cool. I have not caught one yet. I tried to the last time I was in Florida, but they canceled it for that day, and that was the only day we were able to really give it a go. So, but I'll get one eventually. At some point, I will catch a SpaceX launch. I have a rather Disney-obsessed wife and in-laws, so it's a safe bet that I will be there on more than one occasion in the future. All right, so we're looking for some re-entry heat to start occurring. Everything looks really solid right now, though. I saw one rocket launch while I was down there one time, and I don't remember what it was that was launching. It was just a typical launch, but it was so cool. It was from a distance, too. Like miles away. I was at a friend's house. But that was really fun. Right, are these actually... Okay, they are actuating. We're at that point. How are we looking? Yes. Faintly, but we could. All right, we have re-entry heating. I'm going to deploy the air brake. You know what? No, I'm not. Let's see how it does without it. Because I think we could get a little more distance on this bad boy. So we were getting like... I see it jumping up as we're going down. It's holding fairly stable. Once we see the gauge appear, we might want to throw the air brake out. Let's do that. It was faint, but you could hear it. Okay, we got the gauge. Let's throw out the air brake to get under 4.5, because that's our safe speed. And then we'll retract it at that point. How are we looking? Not shabby. We're actually getting distance. It is gaining glide distance, I think. Sure looks like it. The re-entry or the landing point is somewhere about here at the moment, but it seems like it's just creeping forward. We had to get up like super early to see that rocket launch too. It was like a happy accident. We had gotten stranded by a storm trying to come back, and it shut down like the whole East Coast. I don't remember what storm it was. So we were like, well, where the heck are we? Where are we gonna even stay? And my buddy was like, just come stay with us. So we did, and we found out there was a rocket launch in the morning, so we woke up at like, I don't know, 4 something in the morning. Went and watched it. It was so good. So cool. This is looking really solid at the moment. I just want to point that out. We're looking really good. This re-entry profile is excellent. If we can get it down close enough to the Space Center, we might want to do a quick save in the air and try, so I can try approaches, but... Alright, we've passed under the safe speed. I'm going to retract the speed brake, and we look like we're headed right for it. Right for the darn thing. So the trick is going to be figuring out the magic number where we could set up a re-entry from a given altitude and then like just rotate the thing. What I would do, I like to target landings by setting my periaps over the target, then time rotating it so that it gets to the right point, so that you're kind of overshooting or undershooting as need be, depending on what you're doing. And that, every vehicle is different. every design is different. It takes some work to do that, to figure that out for any given vehicle, for any given planet. But you can target moon landings very accurately once you figure out the tricks to it. All right, so we're at 30 clicks. Doing Mach 4, which isn't too bad. We're actually going to overshoot, I think. We may want to throw that air brake out again. Yeah. We'll see, because we're going to bleed a lot of speed. That's the thing. Let's see what we get. It's looking so on point at the moment. I don't want to mess with it too much. If we start to overshoot, then we're going to want to throw the air brakes out and slow up a bit. But I think we're looking really good. I haven't decided yet. I'm probably going to play like some kind of RPG, maybe some Monster Hunter, maybe something else like that. There's a couple of strategic RPGs I haven't been playing in a while that I'd like to get back to. Or I might do more of this. But I'll post something up on my Discord once I figure that out. Everything is really on point. There's a space center. You can see it right now. We're definitely overshooting it, so let's slow up a bit more. But that's not a huge problem. Like I said, as long as we can get to it, we can just kind of circle it at high altitudes. Then I'm thinking Friday evening, I'm definitely gonna do more Flight Simulator. But I want to do something different on Thursday. All right, looking good. Oh, we overshot like crazy. So we're gonna overshoot it past the island and then get ourselves into a big wide turn. Is what I intend to do. So we're gonna turn off these two modes. We're gonna deactivate rocket mode. We're no longer a rocket. Doing about Mach 2.5, so we're super controllable at the moment. Why don't we let that nose come down just a smidge? We'll keep our additional elevator control. Hey, how's it going? There's the Space Center. There's the island. We could land at either of them. Let's quick save. I would call this descent a success. We reached the target area and we have altitude to play with. Like a weird graphical glitch associated with something here. That's interesting. All right. So, are we past the island base yet? We're going to go past it and we're going to do a left-hand turn. We're going to start doing a descent pattern. Okay, here we go. That about there. Well, hello, welcome. Wow, we do not have a lot of authority on this. Let's light the engines to give us a little extra oomph. Let's just, you know what? We're gonna prioritize vertical speed over rate of turn. So right now we're in glide. We cannot pitch up enough to necessarily control this, but that's okay. How's our battery? We're keeping our battery power up, but not as high as I'd like it. So we're controlling we're full stick back, and we're controlling our rate of descent via our bank angle. Yes, you could if you want to. It's actually really hard to go to the sun. In fact, it is the single hardest thing you could do. All right, we have authority now. So now we are in control. This is now a controlled glider. I want to maintain about 20 meters per second down. So we're going to use pitch. Keep our bank angles minimum. Keep that lined up on there. I'm actually looking at the gauge markers for this left-handed turn. I'm going to keep it set to the 100. We're at like -10. And I'm fine with that. We're going to keep it somewhere between 10 and 20. So getting to the sun, that is actually really, really hard to do for a lot of reasons. Basically, if you want to get to the surface of the sun, try to get close to it, you actually really need to do slingshots or hyper-efficient engines. And this is true in real life, too. Because our orbital velocity is so large that lowering it enough to actually dive the sun is really difficult. All of our vehicles in real life that have done it have had to be very extreme. The best way in Kerbal to do it is actually called a bielliptic transfer, but it is an absurdly stupid thing that takes an enormous amount of time. Alright, we're about 8 minutes away from the center. Sending reasonably. I think we are on a nice trajectory here for this. I'll put this on... No. Not what I wanted. I want it on chase mode. There we go. Okay. We're using this mode to kind of keep an eye on where we're going. Not quite full stick, which is nice. I'm gonna let it descend a little bit more. I'm gonna put it in this mode, so it's gonna maintain. I'm just gonna let it maintain 0.32 Mach. That's what I want to maintain. No. Never mind. Ah, gotcha. What's actually we're getting it's getting dark. We're in sunset. So I think because I have my throttle closed right now, but the engine turned on, I think it's telling us how much full thrust power we have, which is interesting. I didn't know it did that. So my goal is to kind of get low here and then enter the pattern and fire up the engines, and hopefully we will be able to land it, but I'm gonna make no promises because I'm still not the best plane lander in Kerbal Space Program, but we're gonna see. It looks so good right now, though. But I think if we can maintain this glide slope, it's looking pretty good. We're gonna end up like right about there at very low altitude and enter the pattern and land with engines. We're gonna need to fire up the engines ahead of time, I think, but that's okay. How's our... We're gliding right now. We don't have an impact marker, though. That's really weird. Not sure why not. So one of the big problems I have with this is that when I turn the flaps on, we lose a lot of pitch authority. So I'm really going to need the engines at that point. We're about 4 minutes out from the Space Center according to this. Actually, I'm gonna close that. There we go. Okay, we didn't really need that. Talk about timing on this. One thing I should probably do with this plane is give myself about 1,000 meters a second, maybe a bit more, maybe 2,000 of jet delta V. Fly it around a little bit and do landing practice, but that's okay. We're gonna attempt it now. This looks so good. Maintaining speed, maintaining glide slope. We're going to switch this from sea level altitude to ground altitude so that we see what our altitude is over the ground once we get to it. Looks excellent. The Space Center, I think, is just right above sea level, so we really just want to get down to like a few hundred meters and then level off and fly pattern. It looks good. It looks so good right now. All right, we can see water surface details, so we're getting close. Oh, that's right. Let it fix this up here, and I'm gonna switch it back to this. Okay. We got plenty of time for go-arounds. We got time to work with this. We're doing real good. I gotta be careful because I can't see the ground coming up, so we need to be really careful that we're not gonna run into it. I sure wish I could change the time of day. We're probably gonna hit ground. I hate to say it. It will be after this landing attempt. Yeah, man. I'll catch you later. Good night to you too. All right, here we go. You can keep that speed up. This looks really good. All right, we're lined up. Nope. That away. Look at that. Look at that. Yes. Yes. Look at that bad boy land. That was great. All right, safing the engine. man, that was so satisfying. Well, there you have it. We made a successful space plane. We landed with 43 seconds of full thrust remaining. Even though the brakes were on there, they decided to turn off for some silly reason. Not sure why. But that's okay. Turn that off now. Oh man, I'm so happy right now. So there it is. That was our trick. You got to target the right landing, and then you can just come in and fly a pattern and approach. So I would say this is a very successful design. And the big takeaway is that this wing design is successful, which means I should be able to apply something similar to this scaled to other designs and get similar results. We'll see. We'll play with more. But I appreciate everybody coming out. Like I said, now that we have put this on the ground, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream for the evening. I will not be on tomorrow night, but I will be on Thursday if you would like. I have a Discord. I'm going to decide what I'm going to play Thursday. It might be this, or I got a couple of RPGs I haven't played in a while, like especially that new Monster Hunter is really fun too, although I guess it's not an RPG per se, but I was having a good time with that. But we might just do more of this. And I should be on 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, and also on Friday. Friday, I'm going to do Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, and everybody, thank you for coming out. I'm glad you have all been enjoying, and have a good one. I'll see you next time.